You're listening to a Shockcast original. Shock.
The C Word with Calista.
Welcome to a special Halloween episode of The C Word. My name is Calista, and today we're going to be talking to an actual ghost hunter. So Walter Williams, he's based in Canada. He's got 40 years of paranormal experience, and we might even be able to touch on a couple of personal experiences because, well, he's my uncle. So Uncle Wally, welcome to The C Word.
Thank you, Calista. Lovely to see you.
This is so exciting for me, not just because I'm really interested in the topic, but because we also haven't really spoken in since I was a kid, right?
Yeah, I saw the photograph of you the other day, and it's in Nanny Williams's house, and your mum's there, and you're there as a tiny little girl.
That's pretty much, I think, the last I probably had actual interaction with family other than on Facebook and stuff.
Yes, crazy. But you're a busy girl.
A lot going on.
James Corbyn even knows who you are now.
Yeah, we've got to get me over to Canada though.
Yes, we will.
So which part of Canada are you in right now?
We're in the Nova Scotia, or the province of Nova Scotia. And we live in the centre of that, which is Truro. It's Colchester County, where we are. And our society that we have here, or our ghost hunting group, is Colchester County Paranormal Society. So we cover anywhere within Colchester County, and it's a big spot. Old. Love it. Not as old as England, but love it.
How many people are in the community or the team?
It started off, we had about 15 or 16, but it's we don't all go out at the same time. You have the team, and then you say, yeah, we're going to go in and do an investigation next week, but some people are not available next week. So we pick out of that group how many we can go to handle the equipment that we use and go from there. So at any one time, it could be 6 or 7. Sometimes it could be 3 or 4.
So you obviously moved to Canada from England, but you were already kind of taking these ghost photos even before that, right?
Yes, how can we put it? I had a strange childhood in respect of seeing things and hearing things that, literally, scared me. And it's all that I've ever done ever since as regards to this subject has all been from those experiences as a child. And Dad used to see things. Remember one time we was in bed and I could hear these footsteps coming up the stairs and the door handle rattling to the bedroom and scared me. Don't ask me how I did it because I don't know. But I got out of bed. And remember, these are days of candles in the bedroom, not electric lights. Went downstairs and they, come up and checked around and stuff like this. And it was the next morning when we were talking about it, Dad said, oh, yeah, I've often seen that woman walk up the stairs behind you when you guys go to bed.
Oh, my God.
Right. You tell me that now?
But how old were you then?
At 11, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. And one time, going to school, we had to walk down this long road. My school was Icknield Street, and this was called Icknield Street. Just before the school, there's the old railway line going across the street, and there was a long, dark bridge or tunnel that you have to go through.
Okay.
It wasn't scary because you can see the light at the other end and there was old street lamps inside. And I was walking down there into this tunnel and there was a guy, walking in front of me. It was all dark and I'm walking down and this guy stopped, turned around, looked at me and then turned and went straight into the wall. Just disappeared into the wall. The part that they disappeared into the wall didn't scare me. The fact that he turned around and looked at me, that scared me.
He's making sure you're watching, right?
Oh, wow, I'm telling you, yeah. And it's things like that, and you think to yourself, I still see him now and again, but not very often.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about too much personal stuff on the podcast, but you were telling me, it kind of runs in the family. And of course, we've heard stories from all different relatives over the years of things that have happened. Do you think you are definitely the one that's has the strongest intuition of them?
It's hard to say. I think the family have something, they were two that used to say stuff. So it's there. I wouldn't really say I'm the one that's got it the strongest. I'm just saying I'm the one that pursues it more.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely had incidents happen. Maybe a few years after it happened, mom would tell me something and I'd be like, but the exact same thing happened to me as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you were saying we kind of come from a line of mediums.
Yes. Dad he wasn't a practicing medium, but he could definitely see things and hear things. And I mean, we're all come from the same gene pool. So, some of it's going to rub off. I mean, a lot of people say everybody is possibly a psychic. They just don't either realize it or haven't attuned to it. It's like I say, if you watch some of these shows where there's a medium on TV, and before they come on, they say, I just went to go to a quiet room and just tune in. Well, what they're doing is actually raising their vibrations through breathing, and it actually raises the vibration within your own body and mind, because spirits work on a higher level. You might hear buzzing in your ear and you can't make it out. That's probably a spirit trying to talk to you, but you can't hear it because it's too high pitched. So a psychic will raise their vibration level and a spirit will bring theirs down. And hopefully they meet in the middle. Then the medium will stand in and say, "Oh yeah, I talked to your Auntie May yesterday. She was looking great." Yeah. You know, it's that sort. It's just the way that works. And if you're on it, and when you're going out on an investigation, your senses are obviously a little more heightened because you don't know what you're going to see, you don't know what you're going to find, you don't know what you're going to hear. So you're anticipating. You're
on high alert, basically.
High alert, yeah.
Obviously, I've had like experiences and stuff, but mostly like I wouldn't say when I was younger, but like probably till like a few years ago. So I wanted to ask you this later on, but since we're already talking about it. So I've noticed like as I grow up and as I've moved out of like my hometown, which is like in East Malaysia, I don't seem to be as sensitive anymore. Like I don't have experiences anymore. Like why do you think that is?
That's only because you're very busy. You're moving around a lot, and you'll have experiences in KL, but you might not put any sort of strong emphasis on it because you're busy doing what you do now and all the other stuff that you do. It's quiet times when you sort of sense things, because otherwise, your conscious mind is just, you're flying all over the place. But when you have time to sit and relax and just chill down a bit, that's when your subconscious or your being is nice and relaxed. That's the time when you can pick up on these things. I wouldn't say you don't get them as more as because of where you are. I think it's more because of what you're doing. Be careful going to bed tonight.
Honestly, like, I don't know, like whenever I've had experiences in the past, I just kind of like, I'm the type of person who's like, you know what, never mind, I'm just going to go sleep.
Yes. You know what I can't do? I mean, I know I class as a ghost hunter. I do not like scary movies, ghost movies.
Why?
No, I don't know. I can imagine it's, you watch something, you think, if that thing comes at me when I'm on a ghost hunt, you know what I'm saying? I'm gone.
I guess it hits closer to home, right?
Yeah, they make you jump. They scare you.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you this one thing, and it's a good way of demonstrating that. When me and Julie first got married, we lived in an old apartment. We call it a flat in England, but it's an old apartment above a shop. And we've been there, I don't know, a month or more maybe. But he kept having this feeling there's something not right in this place, So anyway, we went to bed one night and I'd got her back to her facing that way. And I'd just drifted off to sleep and I felt like a bit of a nudge.
Okay.
So I turned over. It was an old lady, at least 120 years old, just staring at me in this bedroom, in this bed. It was a change my underwear moment, right?
Even hearing it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, I tell you what, it scared me. And I can still see her face right now as vivid as if it had just happened. 2 days later, because, I was having trouble sleeping after that. In front of her, at the end of the bed was a window. She was now standing outside that window looking in. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm done. Julie, see if we can find a place to go. We got to move out of here.
But doesn't that mean like she actually left the house? Like she went from being in the bed to like outside.
Yeah, but it's the same area. It's like with a lot of ghosts. It's the, the space. She obviously, I don't know who she was. She obviously used to live there at one time. And this is the difference with ghosts. You have what they term as residual ghosts. A residual ghost is the likes of going to a castle and seeing, Anne Boleyn walk by type of thing.
Okay.
Residual. They stay there. I'm not even going to say a memory. Well, it probably is a memory. There's a thing called the Stonewall effect, whereby they believe that buildings can absorb the energy of any tragedy, right? And then they just play it back. It's like on a loop, on an old tape recorder on a loop. And, if you happen to be there at the same time or, the same time of year or the atmosphere is about the same, you'll see this memory. To us, that's a ghost because it's come from nowhere, saw it for a brief second, and it's gone. The other type are what they call intelligent ghosts. They go into the category of a spirit, not a ghost, a spirit. These are the ones you can interact with. They can interact with you as opposed to the ghost. They don't interact with you. They don't know you're there. A spirit does. And these are the ones that you can contact with, you can communicate with. It's the old classic, and we still do. Put the digital recorder on. Is there anybody there? and wait to see what happens. Those are the ones that you can interact with, and they can interact with you. Like the old lady in the bed. She obviously could see me.
Yeah.
She was interacting with me, but I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she wanted. So she did what she did first. That scared me. And then whether it was her thing like, oh, sorry, I won't bother you that close again. She was outside, but she's still on the premises of the house.
Was this before you joined like an actual ghost hunting community?
No, I used to have one in England too. It was called we called it STRIPE, which was, I think it was a Society for the Research and Investigation of Paranormal Experiences. But yeah, I've been doing this, as I say, since I was 40 odd years now.
Because like, didn't that experience make you want to kind of figure out who she was, what she wanted?
Yes, obviously. But, Julie pregnant and all that sort of business, it was, and there were plans for us to move anyway. So I just put it down to well, there's a good ghost story. And it is. It still scares me when I think about it. It's crazy.
Having done this for like over 40 years, it doesn't change your feeling of being scared or...
No, I haven't gone to many where we got scared. Interested, yes, and thinking, whoa, did you just hear that? Did you just see that? For me now, it's more interesting. It's answered a lot of questions for me, and it's taken a lot of the fear away. There's not many people I've done. Well, we've took a few groups around, and some have been scared, but, we don't try and do things deliberate. We don't do it as entertainment. Basically, our mandate is we want to find physical proof of the paranormal. Life after death, do you carry on when you're gone? And after 40 years of experience, I can say, yep, we do.
Well, speaking of that, like when you find out, okay, so if somebody calls you to like do like an investigation or anything and you find, okay, yeah, your house is haunted, do you perform any cleansing kind of thing? Or is it just like, okay, yeah, it's haunted, bye?
No, we do. We don't do many private homes.
Okay.
And the only reason that being is that when we find something and tell them, we can leave. They still have to live there. So we're very careful with private residences, which is why we like doing abandoned buildings, people that have lived there before, but there's nobody there now. But we have done a couple. And yes, we can, I don't know if it's a professional cleansing or what, it seems to work sometimes, but we go in and we'll say like, these people are living in their time, in their space. You are still in your time and your space. If you want to carry on haunting, don't hurt anybody, don't frighten people. That's your time. There's people now living in a separate time within that space, like us now, and there shouldn't be any interaction. We have noticed that things do get a lot calmer once we've done that. But we do not like doing. So
like, what does a typical like hunt or investigation look like? Do you just decide, okay, there's like an abandoned house here, let's go check it out? Or does people call you about it? We've had referrals or a call, but we like to try and find them ourselves. It's like the bunker, just not far from here in Truro, a place called Debert. De Burt has what they call the Defend Bunker. Okay. Which is named after one of the premiers. Okay. It was a Second World War bunker and it's a big airfield too. And, a lot of forces from England would come to the air base in De Burt, in the bunker and all that sort of stuff. And then they'd fly off different missions out. And there's a massive control center down there. It was basically, if World War II goes bottom down, and they decide they're going to use a nuclear bomb, all the government people and stuff like that, and all the important people will be stationed in this bunker. Okay. And a great entrepreneur bought it and started to convert it inside, because it's all a massive passageways and corridors, and there's got to be 100 different rooms in that thing. Because when you're down there and they turn the lights off, it is dark. So they were looking for, well, we didn't hear that, but we thought maybe the only way we can get in and do an investigation in this bunker is to say, we'll come in, we'll put it out there on the internet, and we'll do a fundraiser to help you raise funds. We had 30 people down there. Oh. And it was awesome. Absolutely awesome, taking this group of people around in the dark. And I mean, the staff down there were fantastic because they come up with little stories, oh, don't go in that room, there's something in there. So we said, let's go in that room and check with it. So, yeah, it was great. Otherwise, we'd go out and find our own stuff. One of those EVPs you have there, right across the road from me where I'm sitting right now, is the old hospital. We got in to the old hospital. It was just me and Simon. They had a little word with a certain person and he let us in. So we explored the place on our own, the whole hospital.
There's a room up on the third floor on the psychiatric side of the hospital.
Of course.
306. That EVP, when you listen to it, you'll hear Simon saying, I don't like this room. I don't know what's going on. It's all on tape. And then you hear another fella who turned out to be the maintenance guy. And he's saying, yeah, I never liked this room either. And right after that, you hear a man, not me, not Simon, not this other guy, saying, I pulled my head.
I don't like that room.
Really? Yes,
I don't like it. There's something about this room I do not like.
We think he hung himself. And he's still in that room.
That would make sense.
There's no other reason, you know?
I'll try and
EVPs,
play this on the podcast.
Yeah, the EVPs that you'll hear are fantastic. There's one there, if you see, it says, follow me. That's me walking through a cemetery and saying, yeah, guys, I'm just checking, is anybody still around? Because cemeteries are not the best place to investigate at all because, you know, the memories have all long passed by the time they reach the cemetery. And that EVP, I didn't hear it. It's only when I got home and played it back. Mm-hmm. And he says, it's a man. And he says, follow me there.
Oh, gosh.
And it's as plain as day, as if I'm talking to you right now.
When you go home and you hear it, like, does it like give you goosebumps as well?
Yes, it does. But I find it exciting as well because we've actually, again, it's just another piece of evidence.
So how do you feel like after you've done an investigation? Like when you leave, do you feel like exhausted? Do you feel, or is it just like normal, nothing special?
No, feel exhausted, very much so. And the reason for that is spirits, ghosts, will use any form of energy to try and manifest, whether it's an orb or a streak of light shoot across or even a manifestation. They're using your energy. They're drawing off you. They're drawing off your flashlight. These are the batteries. You're drawing off your flashlight batteries, your recorder batteries, your camera batteries. And the more they draw, that's when the anomalies can become more clearer. We've actually seen one just appear out of nowhere and just start to grow bigger and bigger. But you'll say, you know, you walk in with a full pack of batteries and you've been there 5 minutes and, battery's dead, got to get another one. And that's another good indicator. That's another good indicator. EMF. Do you know what the best EMF device is in the world? Your own body. You ever walked into a room and the hair on the back of your neck stood up?
Or you're suddenly cold.
Yeah, that's exactly what the EMF meter's doing, because you've walked into an area where the EMF is pretty high and it affects your skin. It's like your hair stand up like static. It's the same principle that thing works off. Exactly the same. But they're good to have because it's visual.
Yeah. And you don't, you can't just like say like, oh, it was just like you were freaking yourself out because it's like on a machine, right?
But yeah, it's they are tiring. Plus, you have to remember going in as a group. I have most of it here. You're going in to investigate something. So you want to try and cover every angle of where you are. So, and we have 8 infrared cameras. So that's going to require at least 6 tripods.
Okay.
Then you got the DVR. Then you got the monitor. Then you got the cameras and all the flashlights. You have to take a load of gear in, set it all up, actually do the investigation. And when that's done, you have to break it all back down and take it out back to the car. By the time you're done, it's,
it's physical work.
And I'm not 18 anymore.
Really?
No, I know I'm lucky. I'm good, yeah.
But I know you always capture like a lot of orbs, right? Have you ever captured something, or have you ever seen but not managed to capture something more than an orb?
Yes. This is the attic that I'm talking about. We were up there. There was 4 of us up there doing the various stuff. There's one over with a EMF meter, another one over with a digital recorder. There's a set of stairs going down. Next to that, there's a room. You know, remember, we're doing this in the dark. And as I walked in the doorway doing, you know, the older, you know, we're not here to harm you. We just want to see if there's anyone here, anybody that wants to communicate with us, tell us your name and all this sort of stuff. And this thing came at me. And when I say came at me, you know, like get in a crowd and somebody pushes your shoulder as they pass you, bumps your shoulder. This thing did that. And as he passed, right at the side of my ear, right here, it says, get out. And gone. But it was so powerful. First of all, I had the knock, but I didn't bump into anything. But he bumped past me. And as he went by, obviously, it must have been his face. It just came right up, and it was right close. That bad, it made me dizzy, and I almost fell over. It wasn't captured on film as regards like we caught anything. This thing just came out of nowhere. Nobody saw it. Nobody heard it except me. And yet there was somebody just in front of me. So this thing came my way.
He decided that you were the person that he should go.
I'm the leader of the gang.
So did you get out?
No. Oh, no. I have a lot of EVPs that say get out. And you watch any ghost hunting show and you'll hear somebody say that anyway, get out. But no, we don't do that. We say, no, we're okay. Just don't harm us. And we've never, ever, in my experience, had anything physical injury. You know, you might bang into something because you didn't put your flashlights on and you smacked your head on a wall or something that you didn't know was there. And this is what we do with an investigation. When we first get there, we go around with all the lights blazing. We do ourselves a tour of the whole place we're going to investigate so that we know where dangers might be when it's in the dark.
Okay.
But no, and I've never, ever, apart from that, get out. That's the only time that something has come that close to, trying to scare us out of there.
So obviously, like, some of them don't want to communicate, right? But have you ever had ones that actually have been trying to communicate and they're like, okay, finally someone can, they can talk to you?
We've done it again, same place in that attic. We figured out that we were speaking to a little boy.
Okay.
He had a mum and dad. They were there with him, but we couldn't get them to speak. We didn't pick up anything from those, but we picked up the boy's name. You pick it up on the digital recorder.
Okay.
Is why you always have one, because we're talking all the time, but we don't know if they're replying. We're actually listening to see if we can hear physically, but we don't. It's always on a digital recorder, 80% of the time. And we figured out he was a little boy, and he lived there with his mum and dad, and his mum and dad were transients. He says, you're going back into the 1800s when they lived in this place. And it was just playful. You can tell by the lights, he's just glad to talk to somebody. It was fun, scary at the time, but it was fun. And this is what you do when you find out. And we even told them, you do know that this place is going to be demolished soon because they were knocking it down.
Oh, okay.
And we said, you do realise, just want to let you know. I mean, talking to him like I'm talking to you. Just want to let you know they're demolishing this place. So this place is not going to be here. And it's just the lights going ding, 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 ding. So they understand it. And it was eventually demolished. But there's something in its place now. They are probably still there.
So you think even when the original space is gone, they stay?
Yeah, because it's the actual space that they occupied, not the structure that was on it. That house could have been knocked down 5-6 times before, it is what it is now. But the space is the space that they are in. So they're not all there moaning and groaning. There are some that some you can help, some you can't.
Have you ever had anything attach itself to you after an investigation?
No, and the reason being, which is important, when we do an investigation, we go in, like I say, we check it around in the daylight, make sure we know where everything is, set the gear up. When we're actually ready to start, I personally give a prayer of protection for the whole group.
Okay.
When the prayer is done, within that prayer, it's only, please protect us with your spiritual white light, keep everybody safe and all this sort of business. But we also state, if there are any spirits in this property, we are visitors. When we leave, you do not follow anybody home because that is not permitted. This is your space. Our space is outside of this house. And none of them ever have. Nobody's ever said, that thing followed me home last night. No. And I've never had it either, I mean, I'm talking to the spirit world all the time and they never come to me and say, yeah, you really messed up my house when you was here. No, they don't follow us home. Some people have claimed they do, and I'm not saying that spirits don't attach to people. They do, but as I say, maybe we're a fortunate group. It's never happened to us, and hope it don't.
Okay, well, that kind of brings me to my next question, which is, why do you think ghosts or spirits look different in Western countries versus Asian countries? Because I know you say you don't watch like a lot of horror movies, but when we talk about ghosts, I feel like we always talk about like Western ghosts, like they're just like spirits. But when we talk about Asian ghosts, it's a lot of more demon kind of things, I feel.
The one that scares me is that one that is the girl in the black hair and the white dress.
The Japanese ghost.
Yeah, that freaks me out. I don't want to see one of them on one of my investigations.
I really hope you don't.
Western culture is totally different to Asian culture.
Mm-hmm.
Asian culture, some areas, goes back thousands and thousands of years. So it's a deep-rooted, there's demons, there's flying dragons, there's all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I think the dread of Asian spirits comes from. It's in their genes. It's a deep-rooted, goes way back into the past of, like the Japanese samurai and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. It goes way back. But it's rooted in the modern day people. But
mm-hmm.
deep down in their core, that stuff is still there, even
mm-hmm.
though they probably don't think about it. And with the mythology that's come from all those thousands of years, mm-hmm. it's still up here, whether you're, working in an office or working down in a rice field, whatever you're doing, mm-hmm. it's still there deep inside. And I think it's the fear. Every time somebody mentions ghosts in Asia, everybody gets scared, or they think, oh, Jesus. But, next time you see one, have a digital recorder in your hand. It's probably just saying, hi, Calista, how are you? My God, I haven't seen you forever. The perception of the way back old days that's come right the way through to this time, mm-hmm. that perception still follows. And remember, 80% of the ghosts that we know of are from Hollywood, man. It's in the movies. People pay money to get scared.
Yeah.
So they're going to make them 10 times worse than what they are.
Yeah. But here we've got different things. One of the ones I can think of right now, basically it's this woman who can detach her head and the intestines, and then she can fly around. So that's a very well-known one here that a lot of people experience, especially the ones that live on the outskirts of town. A lot of people have seen these kind of things. So do you feel black magic kind of plays a part in how spirits and anomalies manifest over here? I think in Africa as well, they have similar things. And yep. I remember reading somewhere someone said it's because of the history of voodoo and stuff. And yes. Obviously in Asia, we've got a history of black magic and everything. So do you yes. think that plays a part? In
Asian culture, you mean, not all over. Everybody knows that there's black magic practitioners, mm-hmm. there's white magic practitioners. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as to whether these people have the actual powers to conjure up this sort of stuff, probably. But it's probably because the people they're trying to conjure it for are gullible to and susceptible to it. That's what they want. That's what they want to see. So, you watch Britain's Got Talent. You see the one girl there from Asia.
Oh yes.
I forget what her name is, but she was scary.
Reina or something, right?
Yes, something like that. She got massive following.
Yeah.
But it's something that will make you believe. Mm-hmm. Someone has the power to make someone or a group of people mm-hmm. believe that a lady can detach her head and unzip herself so all her intestines come out. Where did that actual thing mm-hmm. originate from? It's got to be from way back somewhere else, because I doubt very much anybody today is going to do that sort of thing, unless they're a magician, right?
Do you think for maybe a group of people that play with black magic, do you think what even after they stop, there's residual? Yeah.
Here's the thing now, and a lot of people are not going to like this either.
Okay.
But Ouija boards,
mm-hmm.
a lot of people play with them. It's a party trick. Unfortunately for the Ouija boards, to a lot of people, it works. You can actually open a portal, mm-hmm. bring something out that you want to talk to or mess around with the board. Mm-hmm. Then what do you do when you get scared? Something goes bang outside or something like that. First thing you do is put it in, close it up, put it back in the drawer. But in doing that, you left the door open. Mm-hmm. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier, the different levels of existence. Once you pass, in a sense, mm-hmm. the lower levels, all your not so nice people we know are here. That's where they are. I'm not going to say it's hell, but that's where they are. Mm-hmm. And these are the ones that want to be able to try and influence the living in that sense. You ever watched Constantine?
Okay, yeah.
You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
That sort of puts it in perspective, in a sense. People that want to influence people to do bad things. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, a Ouija board is one way of getting that across, if you believe it. I've used one, and we only ever used it once. And that was it. And we sealed, well, I won't say we sealed it. We did what we thought was to be the right thing to do. And that is close it. Say, yes, thank you very much. This session is now over. If there's anyone that came across here, please go back now because you don't belong on this side. And then shut it up. We did an investigation at a house with 2 young girls, teenagers. And then the mum was having a lot of trouble with the house. And the first question I asked, just right out the blue, okay, is anybody here? Is there a Ouija board in this house? Anybody playing with the Ouija boards? And these 2 girls looked at each other, and I just knew. I just knew. And some of the footage we got of that house is this thing coming down the stairs. It's on film. You see, come across the banister and walk into the next room. And when we went back to show them what we found, first thing I said to them, I said, is that Ouija board still in this house? Yeah. I said, go get it, take it outside, burn it right now. And everything ceased after that because they brought something over and didn't put it back.
The Ouija board was kind of like
it's a doorway.
Okay.
My experience and a lot of people in what we do will tell you the same thing. I mean, I've even seen them using Ouija boards on ghost shows. You know, I 100% disagree with them unless you have the facilities to be totally in control of it and of the session. Because if you don't, if that portal opens and you're in touch with someone, you know, oh yes, look, it's my Uncle Bill from down the road, you know, well, there's a, you know, yeah, but who's behind Uncle Bill? If you're talking to Uncle Bill, who's standing behind him that wants to come through? And if you don't close it like you do a book, you say, this session's over. Thank you very much for all your help and all that sort of stuff. We want this now to end. Close it. You don't know what you brought in. And it means it's closed. You can't leave.
I was just going to ask, like, so how do you know, like, if it's a good spirit or if it's something masquerading as a spirit? Like, if it's actually Uncle Bill or is it somebody masquerading as Uncle Bill?
That's a great question because it's difficult. It really is difficult to pinpoint. I do automatic writing. I've been pretty good at it. I did this for I was at work one time in Birmingham and I was on my own. So I thought, get me pen and paper out, start writing. It's coming across, even got the digital recorder working. It was afterwards, you can hear a dog barking right next to me. There's no dog there. Anyway, I started doing the writing and it started off as being decent, you know, and all sort of stuff. And then I'm thinking, oh, sounds like a nice fella. Let's see what he wants to say. Next thing, man, I felt a grip around my hand, right? So tight. And the pen was squeezing it like that. And it was just profanity. And I couldn't stop it. So this nice young fella that was there that I was talking to, all of a sudden, that's, you know, he lured me in, no doubt. When he realized I'm in contact, he changed. He was masquerading and or mimicking is a good word. And and the only way I could break that, whatever was going on, is I literally got my hand and slammed it down on the desk so the pencil flew out my hand. And then it was...
Then it kind of like let
go of it, let go of me. Something got a hold of me and it was not nice. It was nasty, very, very nasty. I've never had it since. You know why? Because after that incident, I'm in control. I want you to, I'm calling for whoever wants to come and say something, come and say something. Just want to let you know that I will be in control of the pen. You can manipulate my hand to do the writing the way you want to do it. But when I say we're done, we're done. But I will say it in a nice way. Oh, thank you very much, Uncle Bill. That was really nice talking to you. I'll make sure I pass it on to your family. And I'm sure they're going to love to know that we have been in touch with you. Thank you very much. And, you know, God bless. Been great ever since. I've had an exciting life, haven't I? Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's sort of what you see in movies, but at the same time, obviously not like over-exaggerated.
Yeah, movies over-exaggerate everything. A typical ghost hunt is nothing like the movies. I'm not talking about the ghost shows that do them. They're different. They pretty much do the basics of what we all do. The only problem I have is a lot of people can't afford the type of gear they're using these days. You get fortunate enough that a TV company wants you to do some ghost investigations, then you've only to snap your fingers, man, and you got the latest technology right in your hands.
Yeah.
You ain't paying for it. But for the normal guy out in the street or the normal group that's out there doing it day after day after day after day, they're using stuff that they've had to buy. They've had to save up for that. And when they got that, they treasure it because they don't want it broken. They don't, they don't want it dropped and all this sort of stuff. And this is the difference with the professional ghost hunting groups. And believe you me, there's some great ones out there, but they have gear far surpassed than what we can use.
What do you think of the Warrens then? I feel like I have to ask the question.
The Warrens?
Like the Conjuring and...
Oh, the Conjuring, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very good. I have in my basement an actual set of the headphones that they used in the Conjuring.
Oh.
Yeah, the big ones. Man, you talk about like what you're wearing and like the ear pods and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You put these things on, you need a neck brace. It's so heavy. It's crazy. But yeah, but the Warrens, I mean, they both passed away now, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
They were good investigators, from my knowledge of them anyway. They were good investigators. Taps, classic, love them guys. If you want to start dropping names. I don't think James Gordon does ghost hunting, but we've got to check him out one time, see what he does. See if he does his.
I would love to see James Gordon do a ghost hunt.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
This is like a Halloween episode, right? And Halloween's coming up.
I mean, to scare you.
Yeah, so every Halloween, like somebody wants to do something. Would you suggest, or do you actually think it's dangerous for like people who have no experience, don't know what they're doing, to just go to a haunted house or go to an abandoned building?
No, absolutely not. If you can find a reputable group that wants, we've done it. We've done fundraisers on Halloween and all that sort of stuff. We don't do them as parties. They're not, let's go out and have a joking fun night. Whether it's Halloween or Christmas, it's still in the investigation. Going out like on Halloween and saying, yeah, let's go into this old house, stuff like that. I can remember 2 people that did the exact same thing as that, having a great laugh and going out. They'd had a couple of bevies or whatever. And it's Halloween, let's go into it. They both died because they didn't look into it first while it was light. They went into the dark and went straight through the hole in the floor.
Okay, so it's
dangerous.
Okay.
It's very dangerous to do stuff like that. And pranks as well, they can go bad very easily. I certainly wouldn't recommend it or suggest it. If you wanted to do something on a Halloween period, the week up to Halloween or even Halloween night, find a reputable group that will say, we got this abandoned place or we got permission to go into this place. It'd be great if you could do an investigation, but you got to plan that 2 weeks, a week before. You wouldn't just turn around and say, oh, yeah, you want to do that? Hang on, I'll get you a digital recorder. Take it with you when you go, because I want to hear what you sound like when you fall through the floor or you fall off the roof.
So you wouldn't suggest it because like the place is dangerous. It's not like messing with spirits without having any knowledge is too dangerous.
Yeah, it's everybody knows. I mean, Halloween, what is it? All Souls Eve, right? It's the time back in the medieval times when the dead would come back and visit the living, which is what Halloween's all about. Unfortunately, now it's just commercialized.
Yeah.
But tell me the question again.
Would you say it's okay if, say, for instance, this place is not dangerous? We know it's not a dangerous place, but it's just a group of friends going in to like kind of like see whether they actually get to see a ghost or like, just like mess with each other and just spend say for instance, spend the night at a cemetery or something like that. Would you suggest, without having any knowledge of what to do if they do see something, for them to go and do it?
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, with cemeteries. I know it's a cliche, but they're full of dead people. But remember the word people. They were people. And the first thing you want is total respect for those that are there, because you're going to end up there yourself one day, but they're there now. I know a lot of places discourage setting up stuff in a graveyard or a churchyard without permission, just because it's Halloween, let's go to the graveyard. I wouldn't encourage that. Good thing for that, especially this time of year, is there are a lot of haunted tours. And they will take you around graveyards, especially on Halloween or getting close to Halloween. But the biggest thing is respect. If you wanted to do something yourself for Halloween, what I would suggest is sit at home or sit outside your house, turn a digital recorder on and start talking.
Okay.
And carry on doing that, saying, yeah, hey, great-granddad, Uncle Wally, how you doing? Can you talk to us? And then go back in. Far better if you can upload it onto a computer and play back so you can hear it really well, or put a set of headphones on and just listen. And you just might get something on Halloween. And the only people you are disturbing is yourself.
So it's not dangerous to like kind of like try and speak to them?
No. Why would it be?
Okay.
It's only. I mean, they say, "Oh, yeah, you're a ghost hunter." So yeah, only because I've been doing it for that long, I know, the way to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
A young kid on the street, they're not really sure. They just think there's a ghost up there. Let's go and get it. It's not the same. You got to know what you're doing. The first and foremost is not collecting the evidence. It's keeping yourself safe.
Okay. So I think I got two more questions. The first one, which is something I just thought about when you were talking about all the experiences, and that's like sleep paralysis. How do you know when it's sleep paralysis and when it's something more?
Great question. I don't know where you're getting these questions from, but they're great. Now,
experience.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
But yet I had that, and it is a very good question, because even I wasn't sure if something was actually sitting on top of my chest and I couldn't move. I couldn't get it off. I couldn't do anything. 100%, I was awake. I just couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. But I can't 100% say that I wasn't asleep either. And that's when, because they do reckon sleep paralysis. That's why, hence sleep paralysis. It does come in when you reach a certain level of REM sleep and all that sort of stuff. But I really don't know. I can't answer that 100% for you. And I just hope I don't get it again, because I didn't like it. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what type of phenomena that is. I mean, if you're of the witchy kind, or, not on the nicer side of life, then yeah, you could swear black and blue it was a demon. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. It's not a realm I want to go into.
I feel like sometimes you have like sleep paralysis and you can kind of tell like, okay, this is like, I get the scientific explanation to it, but like sometimes when it happens, things are a little too clear.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we probably all had it, that same thing. It's like a sleep paralysis, but in your head, you think, I'm dreaming. I'm getting out of here. I don't want to get out of here. I don't want to be in this dream. And you're screaming and shouting to try and wake yourself up. But you can't. It don't wake you up. And then after a while, it's boom, you're awake and you think, oh my God, I'm not going back to sleep. I'm going to go downstairs and have a coffee or something. I'm not doing that.
Oh, well, I turn around and go back to sleep.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, I'm tired.
Not me. I've rubbed shoulders with the spirits, man. I don't do that. If I'm awake, I stay awake.
I think because at one point it happened a lot to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. At one point it was almost every night. And I could tell when it was just a normal thing, and I could tell when there was something, and I could tell when it was like more intense than usual. Yeah. And there was once, when Auntie Karen came over to visit.
Yes.
And I was sleeping in that room with her, and we were on separate mattresses. Like she was like this way, I was this way. And I wasn't even asleep. I hadn't even fallen asleep yet. I had literally just put my phone down, and it just gripped me and I couldn't move. And it was just screaming in my head.
Oh, really? What was it screaming?
Profanities. It was a woman and was screaming profanities, and nothing would make her leave me alone until I, in my head, screamed back at her. And then it just disappeared, and I wasn't asleep yet. And that was the only terrifying experience I've had. Like usually I can just turn around and go back to sleep. That one, like I was lying awake for a long time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but it was only that night when Auntie Karen, I don't know whether it was because Auntie Karen was there or because I was in that other room.
Yeah. Now, do you know the history of the place where you were sleeping that night?
No, but it's where we live. It was just a different room. Like Mom and Dad sleep in there now. And I don't think that, well, Mom wouldn't tell us until we moved house. She's like that. But I don't think they've had any experiences. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's I'm not going to say it's not beyond you, because you're there in the same gene pool as we are. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to presume Karen didn't know nothing at all about this.
She was
at
asleep.
The time.
Yeah.
She was asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty.
Whoever it was didn't like Karen sleeping on that.
That's why I don't know whether it was like because she was there and of course she's got the gene pool, or it was just the room in general. I don't know. But it was that one time, it happened once, and then it's never really happened again.
Could you see anything?
Just
you
dark.
said you were screaming in your ear. You didn't have that sort of floaty thing coming across you, that sort of hovers above you, and
It was just darkness. I couldn't see anything hovering or anything. It was stuck in a place where I just put my phone down, and I just turned to kind of like pull the blanket, and I was stuck like, when you're stuck with your eyes half open. Like you were just about to close your eyes. It was that. And I could see through that little slit that there was just like a very, very black entity. But I couldn't see what it looked like or anything. But the voice in my head was a woman's voice. Yeah. Wow.
And now it's a good question. Was the woman's voice in your head or was she in your ear?
In my head. I remember it very specifically. It was echoing throughout my head. And it was really strange because another weird thing is, and I don't know whether this is a Williams thing because mom said she has the same thing. I don't have a voice in my head.
Oh, really?
I'm one of those people who don't have a voice in my head. I don't see images in my head. So when I see something or when I hear something, it's always really, really strange to me.
Yeah. Out of place. Where had you been that day before you went to bed?
I can't even remember.
I was wondering if you may have picked something up from somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
No, you don't even remember.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a genuine experience. I just they're unnerving when you get them. Yeah. But, and I don't want to put this on you, but the more you get them, the more you get used to them.
That's what happened with the whole sleep paralysis thing. I got it so often. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's gone now. Turn back, go back to sleep. But that specific one shook me because it was so different from all the other experiences I'd had. Yeah.
And this is the thing too with the ghosts and ghost hunting and spirits and all that sort of stuff. We're only afraid because they don't govern our own physics, our own physical laws. You hear something that close, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
You see something move, but you can't see what moved it. You hear these voices, but you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
It's just that we're so used to terra firma, dry land, put your feet down and all that sort of stuff, that when this stuff comes at you out of nowhere, it can really unnerve you.
Yeah.
And this is exactly the same with ghosts. I mean, we've all had different type of experiences. I wouldn't want that one you just had, or the one you had when you was there, when Karen was there. But it could have been something to do with the connection between you and Karen, and who knows?
Yeah,
she could have amplified something that was already there. It's hard to say. Did you have any after she? Obviously, you didn't have any after she left, eh?
Only like the usual. Like, there's definitely like little things that have happened throughout. That, like, when I tell my friends, they're always like, what do you mean? Like,
you ever seen anything?
Yeah. But I haven't for a long time. And I think it's when I started getting busy, like you said.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's right. He says, you see, I used to see him a lot when I was younger. Younger being, 7, 8, 9. I used to see that sort of stuff. And as I got older and like going through your teenage years, it's, whoa, when we go to the pub, all that sort of stuff, it slowly fade back. And I very rarely see anything these days. Occasionally, just a little reminder, but not as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And every ghost hunter will tell you, we just want to get the holy grail of an apparition, which is, to see something solid come through the wall, walk up to you saying, hi, my name's Bill. I died in 1866. And they want it on film.
Yeah.
Perfect. And if they did, everybody would say, fake.
Yeah.
That was fake. That was a curtain, not a wall. So you're never going to win with any evidence that you get. People in general are not going to believe what you have.
I was just going to ask, like, how do you deal with the skeptics?
I'll just say, I appreciate your opinion, but this is my opinion too. And, I don't want to get in an argument with you by saying that's not a real voice, because I can tell you I was the one that was there. I was the one that was standing there in a graveyard on my own, talking. And this is what I picked up when I came out the graveyard. Follow me there. Sorry, pal, you weren't there. You're only hearing the results of what I did.
Yeah.
But I was the one there that experienced it at the time, and nothing was said on there while I was there. Not that I could hear. This is a great thing with digital recorders, man. They're the bee's knees for. I want to go on the moon and do a recording up there and ask if there's anybody there. Could you imagine if you pick somebody else up from that far away? The digital recorders are the way. And I don't know what it is, whether it's a time shift, but I mean, it seems it's probably because it's just the internet and it's in your face every time you turn it on. But it seems now the world is just surrounded by ghosts and everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a message out. But I mean, back in the day, if I took something and I'd have to took a photograph, like that one with the old lady at the tree where she got killed, I'd have to write a letter, put it in an envelope, send it over. It takes 3 weeks before you saw it. Over here, it takes less than 30 seconds, man, and you're right there in your face. So I don't know if it's they want us to see them more easier now, or technology is finally catching up. I think that's what it is myself. I think it's just we have the technology now where we can get these things. A digital recorder can hear a dog whistle. They pick up stuff that we can't hear with our ears.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question.
Yes, ma'am.
Has all of this changed your perception of life, death, and reality?
Yes, and yes. When I was very young, I don't know what it was. I had this morbidity of, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And then the ghost thing started happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm scared. I don't like this. So basically, and believe you me, I've tried to drop this ghost subject thing in regards to like doing ghost hunts and collecting stuff and all this sort of business. I've tried to drop that at least 5 times in my lifetime, but something just swings around and just smacks you right back in there. It's saying, no, you're not giving up yet. But it has taken away the fear of ghosts, because now you can put a good explanation to most of it, but it's other little bits that you think, wow, really? That came out of nowhere. Where is it coming from? It gives you wonderment, I think. It makes you wonder. It makes you think. Fear of dying? No, not really. I mean, it's a fear of taking the next step. But from what I've picked up and collected over the years, I know for a fact that when I'm gone, I'm not just going to go in a box and see you, never going to see or hear from me again ever, because, I've got proof that someone's still speaking to me after they've left, and I've had valid proof by the person I'm speaking with that wanted to talk to this person that it's their voice. So it's not like it's Uncle Jack. Oh yeah, it could be anybody, Uncle Jack. No, that's my Uncle Jack because he speaks that way. But he's been dead for 20 years. I think it's awesome. I encourage anybody to do it properly, safely, and be respectful. 2 things: respect and safety.
Yeah, I've always been a firm believer of I'm more scared of human beings than ghosts, because human beings can be
Just give me a second. It's our business card. And what's on the back? I'm going to put a light on here so you can see that. I don't know if you can see this.
You do not have to fear the dead. It is the living we have to worry about. That is so crazy, because that's what I always, not in those
Welcome to the family, Calista. Welcome to the family.
Williams through and through.
I'm telling you, man. You said the exact words that's on the back of that card.
It's crazy.
Isn't that something?
And I'm glad you just showed me that card, because I was just going to ask you, is there anywhere people can go to find you or see more info on your work and videos and stuff? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be really interested to see. We've been talking about all these photos and everything. One
thing I'm not very savvy at is, and I'd love one. If anybody out there wants to do it, great. I don't have a website. I'm not good at doing websites. I don't know how to build them. Right?
Okay.
We have Facebook. Now, the thing it's that's what it is, Colchester County Paranormal Society. You can look it up, search it under Facebook, but it's a private group.
Okay.
So basically, you have to ask for an invite to get in. And once you're in there, you can see, a good few of the investigations we've done, and there's all stuff there. And that's a great way to get in touch with us that way. But other than that, that's it. If I had a website, if I knew how to build one, I'd build one and it'd be there for the world. But at the moment, it's just good old Facebook.
Well, let's see whether we can get that done.
Yeah. And just remember, Colchester County Paranormal Society, or CCPS for short.
Okay. It's like the Colchester County's
Paranormal.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what we are, yeah. Colchester County Ghostbusters.
Well, thanks for joining me, Uncle Wally. It was a lot of fun. And I'll see you in the next episode.
The C Word with Calista.